Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the CompTIA Network Plus certification exam. So the current version is N10-009. Um, yeah, so first I would like to say that this exam was pretty difficult. Um, there's just a lot of stuff. So straight off the bat, I got four performance-based questions. Like if you guys are familiar with CompTIA exam, like a lot of people have mentioned, you definitely want to skip the performance-based questions and go straight to the multiple choice and come back to those later. So that's exactly what I did. I skipped all four performance-based questions, went straight to the multiple choice, and yeah. So my go-to is when I'm taking CompTIA exams is to look at the exam objectives. This is available on the CompTIA website, and you can find this and download it. Just go over it, make sure that you're familiar with all the objectives. As you can see here, it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, that's what I did. So I'm going to show you guys all the resources that I used to study to pass this exam. And I would like to say I'm not affiliated with any of these resources. These are just the top people that I found their courses to be extremely good. So first things first, as you guys know, Jason Dion's course. So I use Udemy for this, and it's not super expensive, but this course had everything you needed to know, and also there's like one practice exam within the course as well. So that was really helpful. So first things first, I did this course, and then second, let's see, I think his name is Andrew, so I also did his course. I thought it was pretty clear, really helpful, and yeah, straight to the point. And also for my practice tests, I use Jason Dion's 6 practice tests. So the good thing about his practice test is it goes into details of why you got the question wrong, and it gives you a detailed explanation. So that was really helpful. So I'll say if you're getting at least close to like 80 upper 80s, then you're most likely ready for the exam. I mean, I know some people that constantly get 60s in their past, but I usually aim for like 80 and up before I sit down for the exam. So that's my recommendation. But you know, depends on how you study. You can tell if you're ready for the exam or not. And lastly, my cram for this exam was Professor Messer. And if you're familiar with CompTIA, you know he has a lot of free resources on YouTube. So his training videos are really good, straight to the point, um, very detailed. And also, I think he has training notes that you can buy. I didn't really use those, but if you feel like you need to, I think you can also purchase those that if you find them to be helpful. But for me, that's all I use for this exam. And also, Exam Compass has free practice tests that you can use. Um, but yeah, so I would like to say that this exam was pretty challenging. You definitely want to know the CompTIA troubleshooting steps. I don't know why they're focused so much on that, but you definitely want to know the seven troubleshooting steps, and also you want to know all the port numbers because there's a lot of questions on the exam about port numbers and they vary. So you definitely want to know the troubleshooting steps, port numbers, and also the OSI model. So these were the top three topics that I noticed shows a lot on my exam. And lastly, I would like to say that you do need to know some of the networking commands. Um, all four of my performance-based questions require me to enter commands. So if you're not familiar with, some of the basic networking commands, you definitely want to get familiar with those. Um, what else? I'm trying to think of some of the stuff that I'm trying to remember. So, but yeah, I mean, I think this exam is really good for people that's starting out, especially if you're looking to go to the networking route or even security. There's definitely different topics that it covers. Um, I know sometimes people say, "Oh, you can pass an exam in 2 weeks or whatnot." I mean, you can, but I feel like you don't retain any of the stuff. So I like to take my time and make sure that I understand all the concepts and why is that answer is the correct answer and whatnot. So, but aside from that, I mean, I think this exam, I mean, as long as you study, you put the time and effort, anyone can pass this exam. And I've taken CompTIA exams in the past, A plus, Security plus. In my opinion, I thought the Network plus was the hardest ones I've taken so far because it's just so much stuff. And compared to the N10-008, I find N10-009 to be more clear in terms of the questions because, a lot of people say sometimes CompTIA's wording tends to be tricky and whatnot, but I thought this exam was pretty clear, straight to the point. I didn't feel like they were trying to trick me or anything. But my best advice for anyone taking this exam is to, you know your port numbers, basic networking commands, OSI model, and definitely get familiar with the command line because you will get a lot of performance based questions. The main difference between N10-009 versus N10-008 is there's a lot more performance based question on this exam. So I don't know how CompTIA grade the exam, but I'll say if you have like six performance based question, try to aim to get at least four of those because I will assume those weight more than some of the multiple choice. I'm not sure, but I will assume so. Um, but yeah, so that's pretty much it. So these three people were the only resources that I used: Jason, Dion, Professor Master, Andrew on Udemy. Really helpful, straight to the point. So for anyone looking to take this exam, good luck. Just make sure you study, stay on top of things, and you'll pass as well. So that's pretty much it for today.